A Chinese company just built a car that costs $3,800. That is not a concept. That is not a typo. It is a real electric vehicle rolling off a production line right now in Shenzhen. It is called the BYD Seagull. In the past 12 months, it became the best-selling electric car on planet Earth. The average new car in America costs $48,000. This costs less than an iPhone with a 2-year data plan and has 300 kilometers of range. Tesla's cheapest Model 3 costs 12 times more. By the end of this video, you will understand why the US government just put a 100% tariff on this thing. What you are about to hear should not be possible. But it is happening. This is not some stripped-down golf cart. The Seagull has air conditioning, a touchscreen, airbags, power windows, seats for adults, and hits 100 kilometers per hour. It costs 90% less than the average Tesla. BYD sold more than 500,000 Seagulls in 2024 alone. That is more than Ford sold F-150 trucks in America the same year, and Ford has been making trucks for 7 decades. BYD started in 1995 making rechargeable batteries for Nokia phones. By 2024, it became the largest electric vehicle manufacturer on the planet. The future of cars is being decided in Shenzhen, not Detroit or Stuttgart. How does a car costing less than $4,000 have 300 kilometers of range when a Tesla Model 3 costs $45,000? The answer is vertical integration. BYD makes the batteries, motors, chips, seats, glass, and steel. When Tesla builds a car, it sources parts from 200 suppliers across 12 countries. When BYD builds a car, 75% comes from factories BYD owns. That removes the middleman, the markup, and the ability of any Western automaker to compete on price. Electric vehicle batteries account for 40% of an EV's cost. For the Seagull, BYD uses its own blade battery technology, lithium iron phosphate cells in a flat blade-like structure. They are cheaper to make than the nickel-cobalt batteries Tesla uses, last longer, charge faster, and do not catch fire. BYD makes more batteries than any other company on Earth. They sell to Toyota and Ford. The margins on those sales fund the price cut that lets them sell a car for $3,800. Wang Chuanfu was a government researcher earning $300 a month in 1995. He borrowed $3,000 from his cousin and started BYD in a rented warehouse in Shenzhen. Build your dreams. At first, they made batteries for Motorola pagers, then Nokia phones, then power tools. In 2003, Wang decided to make cars. The first BYD car was a gasoline sedan. By 2008, BYD went electric. Warren Buffett invested $230 million and called Wang a combination of Thomas Edison and Jack Welch. Wang did not chase the high-end market. He went after volume, building cars for people who could not afford a car. In China, the average annual income is $12,000. A $45,000 Tesla is a fantasy. A $4,000 Seagull is 6 months of savings. By 2023, BYD was selling more electric cars per month than Tesla. By 2024, Tesla delivered 1.8 million vehicles. BYD delivered 3.2 million. The gap is widening as BYD expands into Southeast Asia, South America, and Europe. In May 2024, the Biden administration announced a 100% tariff on all Chinese electric vehicles. A $3,800 Seagull would cost $7,600 at a U.S. port. The official reason is national security. The real reason is survival. If BYD were allowed to sell in the U.S. at Chinese prices, every American automaker would collapse within 5 years. Ford lost $4.7 billion on EVs in 2023. GM lost $3 billion. Tesla is cutting prices and losing margin. BYD is building factories in Mexico, Thailand, and Hungary to bypass the tariff. That gets the Seagull into markets where price is everything and forces Western automakers to compete on cost, not brand. The European Union is investigating tariffs, but the damage is done. BYD sold more than 90,000 cars in Europe in 2024. Volkswagen, the largest automaker in Europe, is closing factories for the first time in its history. The reason is BYD. The Seagull is spreading across Asia and Europe and is locked out of the United States by tariff. If that tariff drops, Detroit will face an extinction-level event. In 2025, BYD is launching 3 new models under $5,000. It is signing deals with Toyota, Ford, and Mercedes to supply batteries and parts. The company that started with a $3,000 loan is now dictating terms to the largest automakers on Earth. BYD is not just undercutting on price, it is out-innovating. The Blade battery is safer and lasts longer than anything Tesla makes. BYD's new DMI hybrid system gets a combined range of 2,000 kilometers on a single tank and charge, further than you can drive in 2 days, and costs less than a Toyota Camry. In 2024, BYD sold more plug-in hybrids and pure electrics than any company in history. When Tesla launched the Model S in 2012, China had no EV industry. Today it has 37 of the world's 50 largest battery makers and the largest supply of lithium, cobalt, and rare earths. It has vertically integrated supply chains that build an EV from raw materials to finished car in 6 weeks. The United States takes 6 months. In 2023, Ford CEO Jim Farley test drove a BYD and told his board it was the best EV he had ever driven at a quarter of what Ford was charging. BYD wins because it owns every step of production. When Ford designs a new car, it negotiates with battery suppliers and motor manufacturers. When BYD designs a car, it walks down the hall. That speed and control is why BYD can launch 3 new models in the time it takes Ford to update one. Western automakers outsourced everything to cut costs short-term. BYD integrated everything to dominate long-term. The result is a car that costs $3,800 and works. The question is not whether BYD will succeed. It already has. The question is what happens to everyone else. Tesla is cutting prices. Ford is hemorrhaging cash. GM is delaying EV launches. Volkswagen is closing factories. All are lobbying governments for protection. Without tariffs or subsidies, they cannot compete at this price and scale. The Seagull is proof that the global auto industry has shifted. Companies that defined the 20th century are now fighting for survival. The Seagull is not BYD's endgame. It is the opening move. BYD is working on a car costing $2,000. It is developing solid-state batteries that will double range and cut charging time in half. It is building autonomous driving systems. The company that borrowed $3,000 is now the R&D engine for the entire global EV industry. Wang Chuanfu did not set out to destroy Detroit. He set out to build cars people could afford. If tariffs hold, BYD will dominate everywhere except North America. If tariffs drop, it will dominate everywhere. Either way, the shift is irreversible. The next 10 years of automotive history will be written in Shenzhen. Cars that define that era will be $5,000 practical ones, not $70,000 luxury EVs. The West spent a century building the most advanced, most expensive cars in the world. China spent 2 decades building the most affordable, most scalable cars. And scale wins. Every time. The farmer's son who borrowed $3,000 from his cousin just built the most successful car company in the world. The Seagull, that costs less than an iPhone, just outsold every vehicle on Earth. And the future of transportation was not decided in Detroit. It was decided in a rented warehouse in Shenzhen. If you want to see the next industry China is about to dominate, subscribe and turn on notifications. If the tariff dropped tomorrow and you could buy a BYD Seagull for $4,000, would you? Because that answer is what keeps every CEO in Detroit awake at night.